So the Fox News president, Donald Trump, at his Missouri rally, proved yet again that he is the Fox News president. He made some comments about Antifa. Take a look.
A vote for any Democrat this November is a vote for massive regulation, massive taxes, and I hate to say it, massive crime, because crime comes with it. The Democrat Party is held hostage by far-left activists, by angry mobs, Antifa, by deep state radicals, and their establishment cronies. You ever see what happens when they take the masks off Antifa? You have guys that look like they live with mom and dad in the basement. They live in the basement of mom and dad's home. You know what that is? That's the size of their biceps. But they wear the tough black outfits. I would never suggest this, but I will tell you, they're so lucky that we're peaceful.
Of course, you simpleton. The left wing is always violent. The right wing is always peaceful. Okay. So you should not be the one to talk about physical appearance of anybody. He talks about the small biceps of people in Antifa. How about your gelatinous whale body? How about that? Can we talk about that? Can we talk about how you wear suits that are tailored in a way that try to cover up your blubberousness, which I'm not sure is even a word, but it is now because it works perfectly for you. Are we going to talk about that? Yeah. Perhaps pipe down on other people's, appearance. He did this there were a lot of quotes of him saying shit like this about women too, like, she's not attractive. She's like a 4 or whatever. Son, what are you? What are you? Okay, then the point about, the Antifa, they probably live in mom and dad's basement. Just a thought here, but perhaps the generation that absolutely obliterated the economy and ruined any chances for the younger generation to have the American dream, perhaps you shouldn't be making fun of that younger generation for being a victim of your own shitty economy. What happened, Don? You always talk about the economy is so great, it's tremendous, it's unbelievable. Let me just tell you. Which is why we still have people living in mom and dad's basement. Well, if they're living in mom and dad's basement, that would mean your economy's not that great. But of course, his response would be, well, it's on the individual, it's on the person. Listen, if we had an economy that was doing swimmingly, simply put, you wouldn't have 30-year-olds living in their parents' basement. And that has nothing to do with a personal failing on their part. That would have to do with the lack of good-paying jobs. And that's one of the problems, is unemployment's low, but a lot of the jobs that have been created have been low-wage jobs under both Barack Obama and Donald Trump. Low-wage job creation. Okay, now then we get to the heart of it. He says at the beginning, well, Democrats, if you vote for them, you get massive regulation. First of all, he says that as if that's it. That phrase is an argument in and of itself. Like, Democrats are for massive regulation. To say Democrats are for massive regulation doesn't really mean much. And furthermore, what exactly are you talking about? What regulations are you talking about? Because if you're talking about safety regulations, you're talking about environmental regulations to stop polluting the waterways and stop the greenhouse gas effect and carbon dioxide emissions that are way above what they should be. Guilty. Yeah. We're for regulations to make the workplace safer. We're for regulations to, make the environment cleaner. We're for regulations, or the Democrats should be. Some of them, unfortunately, aren't. But we're for regulations to regulate Wall Street. So as this guy deregulates everything that protects the environment, deregulates everything that's supposed to be a sheriff, a check on Wall Street, he's bragging about it and he's acting like, these Democrats, they're for massive regulation. Again, as if massive regulation, just using that phrase in and of itself, is an argument. It's not an argument, and you sound like a dumbass because you are a dumbass. Then he goes, they're for massive taxes. Number one, Democrats, to my knowledge, from what I've seen, are actually not running on repealing your tax bill. Now, I wish they would, but they're not doing that. Now, why do I wish they would? Because 83% of the benefits of your tax bill go to the top 1%. Your tax bill was a giant giveaway to Wall Street It was a giant giveaway to corporations and the rich. That's a fact. That's what all the numbers show. So when you say Democrats are for massive tax increases, I say, for the rich, fuck yeah. For working class people, no. Not in favor of a tax increase on them at all. So you see how he fudges all these things? Like, he just runs through his list of talking points and just boom, 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 boom. And the people in the audience who are not going through these things with a fine-tooth comb, they're like, yeah, make America great again. Say pithy things with no arguments attached to it and pretend like you're making sense. Yeah. And then he goes, and Democrats are for massive crime. First of all, there's an argument to be made that you're for massive crime. You got rid of the cops on Wall Street. They're gone. So Wall Street is going to commit more crimes. Fraud. There's a business model on Wall Street. We're back to that. Thanks. And also, you're for the crime of drone strikes that kill innocent people because there was an increase of 432%, and you've already killed more civilians with drones than Obama did. That's a fact. So who's for crime here? I'll tell you what he's actually trying to get at. Here's what he's trying to say. Oh, Democrats are for massive crime because they don't want to be as hard on immigrants as I do and as the Republicans do. And when you bring in immigrants, as everybody knows, they bring crime. That's what he's trying to say. But here's the thing, and you already know this because you've watched this show, you've seen the studies, I've shown it before. Immigrants actually commit fewer crimes than native citizens. In fact, you have native citizens are the worst. Then you have undocumented immigrants are better than native citizens. And then you have documented immigrants commit the least crime of everybody. So that's the line he's trying to draw. Oh, Democrats are for crime. And he said it before. Oh, Nancy Pelosi loves MS-13. Of all the fucking arguments to make against Nancy Pelosi, and there are many, that's what you pick? She loves MS-13? Why do you say such stupid things? I mean, that's beyond stupid. That's comically stupid. I'm so amazed. The Democrats are so poor at counter-arguing that, this guy is so easy to beat. Are you fucking kidding me? Put me in a debate with Donald Trump and watch him fucking cower in the corner and cry or melt down. Okay, that's what would happen. Because he just says shit and gets away with it, when if you actually fucking check his ass, he'll collapse because he's not saying anything. And then finally here, we'll leave it at this one. He says, and this is, again, the heart of it, Antifa and the deep state control the Democrats. Okay, let's take that one by one. Antifa controls the Democrats. Antifa, for those of you who don't know, or Antifa, as they like to be called, they're anti-fascists. And so most of them, if not all of them, are like anarchists or communists. So if there's anybody in the country who's perhaps even harder on the Democrats than the Republicans are, it would be Antifa. Because they hate the Democrats. They think they're neoliberal corporate sellouts who love capitalism and who are hopeless. So it's such a weird thing. Like, you have to know nothing about politics to make that argument, or you're just lying. And that's what it is. He's probably just lying. But he also probably doesn't know. He might actually think Antifa is like having meetings with Nancy Pelosi, which is hilariously dumb, because Antifa would be more likely to protest her than to fucking have a meeting with her. So it beyond stupid and beyond ignorant to say Antifa is controlling the Democrats. But the deep state controlling the Democrats. Hey, Don, let me explain something to you. You have increased all of our wars. You increased the numbers in Afghanistan. You increased the numbers in Iraq. You're doing a permanent occupation of Syria. You were doing a shadow war in Africa. We have 900 military bases. You didn't reduce them one iota. You have done everything Wall Street wanted, from their tax cuts to their corporate welfare, you name it. So you're doing everything that the deep state loves. So there's a much better argument that you, in fact, are controlled by the deep state. Now, I get it. There's the Mueller investigation, and you hate the Mueller investigation, and there's an argument to be made that there are certain people within, say, the FBI and the CIA who are not fans of yours. But by and large, and Trump even says this, most of them are fans of yours, and you have done their bidding. So it's more likely that you're controlled by the deep state, and the neocons, by the way, John Bolton, Mike Pompeo, you name it, that's proven, escalating the war with Iran right now, as Rudy Giuliani said, we're going to do regime change. So you're controlled by the deep state. So you're guilty of the thing you're accusing the Democrats of being guilty of. Although, to be fair, some Democrats are controlled by the deep state. But also, as far as Antifa goes, nothing could be further from the truth. So it's verbal diarrhea. It's insanely dumb. And now you all see it. And add this to the list of the endless Trump failures